is a Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, and today is day 2, which is by designer Jessica Fenhill, and it's looking at that sketch right there. Well, I dug into my stash and I was like, you know what? I've got this punch out that I've never used before, and I think it's from Authentique. It kind of looks like Authentique, right? And I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, how can I make a cluster? Because that's kind of what I'm focusing on this month is let's do some clusters and then add those to clusters to pages later. Because that has been requested. So I'm looking at this and like, okay, what can I use? What can I use? Oh, I see grid here and I see kind of a grid here. So maybe let's use this one. Okay, the moon has awoken with the sleep of the sun. The light has broken, the spell has begun. Okay, so that's kind of giving me a direction to go. And this is such a big piece that I really can't add much more to it. Because if I look at my 8x8, right, I don't have much extra to use. So I pulled out my dies that are Halloween themed. And I just have them on a 8.5 or probably an 8x10 piece of magnetic adhesive inside a page protector with chipboard and a piece of paper behind it. And that's just going to kind of live to my left. And I was like, okay, well, I've got a moon and I've got a cloud and I've got a witch. So let's do that. So this cluster is going to come together super simple. I cut my moon out of manila because that's kind of the background color there. And the moon isn't quite white either, right? It's more of like a yellow. So I think that's perfect. And then I cut my cloud out of some gray. And I cut my witch out of black because that would be the shadow from the moon's light. And that, my friends, is a super simple cluster. If I wanted to dress it up a little bit, I can add some of the glow-in-the-dark glitter. This is the only glitter in my house, and I bought it specifically because I knew that October was coming up, and it's nice to put on cards. Even though it's not normal glitter, it still shines like glitter, and it glows in the dark, which is an added bonus. So that probably could go on the moon, or I can add any of my finishing touches around. So I can add any sequins, you know, any of those colors, my glitter dots, and actually stars too. This would be really fun with this. More sequins, sorry. Glitter gems, lots of sequins here. So you've got the options when you're thinking about doing 8x8, you don't really have room for extras. So you get one big cluster and then you add these smaller items to really make it shine. So now that we have our cluster made, let's add it to a page. So I've got an 8x8 piece of paper here from Cartabella's Hocus Pocus, and it works perfectly with the colors of this muted tone. And then this looks more like red than orange, so I grabbed some 2x3 photo mats, and I might go like this. I might just have them straight. I think straight is the way to go on this one instead of turned. And then to finish this off, I had thought about adding a house die cut kind of right underneath this here, but it was not cooperating. I don't know, I think it's just because there's not enough shown. Like, you really need to put it like this, but that almost takes away from the whole effect of the fact that it's a house. I don't want to put it over here because I already have this black outline there and I think it looks kind of funky. So unfortunately this house is going to have to be used at a different time. So all I can really do is embellish, and I am just going to scatter some stars. Now the reason that I don't have photos yet is because it's not October. But I wanted to give you guys an idea of how you can use a big cluster that you created first to be on a layout. So I'm just going to sprinkle these little stars kind of where I feel like there's kind of a lack of stars, I guess. Like maybe where all of the black parts are, and that's too linear. So yeah, that's my page. Super simple. You know, sometimes you just got to keep it simple, stupid, right? And that's why I like the 8x8 format. So don't forget to come back tomorrow for another October Daily. Bye.